Welcome to Naptime Nuggets number 64. I'm giving you effective discipline power tool number 3. Time out. Oh, time out. Time out. I remember as a parent needing those myself. When you're working in the classroom or in childcare, it's much more difficult. So I'm going to cover both today. So the idea is you're going to use timeout as a break, as a helpful guidance tool. And so we're going to look at how to avoid the pitfalls. Timeouts can actually be harmful, and look at how to make it helpful and gain the cooperation that you need. So I have a tool for you that's going to be awesome. It's free. You can use it in your setting. And I have some examples of when you would use it and how to avoid the pitfalls and get all the benefits of the positive timeout, or we might even call it a time in. So today's nugget: tenets of a helpful timeout, when and how it can be used effectively, what to avoid, time in, and an excellent resource, Tucker Takes Timeouts. Why? Well, we'll find out, and we'll teach kids about it. And examples of when and how you can use a positive timeout. So here I am. I figured out timeouts when my first daughter was about 3, and boy, did they work good for her. So 3 years old is when they can start to understand that cause and effect a little bit better. If I do A, then B is going to happen. So that's when timeouts become maybe more effective, but there's still some tricks to using them. So here I was, unskilled. I didn't have the education behind me. I hadn't started my master's program at the University of Minnesota. I hadn't started working at ECFE. I was just a parent trying to use strategies that were effective. I knew I didn't want to spank, but I didn't know what to do instead. So I tried different things, and some things worked or not. Well, I found out that a timeout really works. All I had to do was say, "Do you want a timeout?" And she would stop whatever it was that she was doing. Or sometimes she wouldn't, but very often it worked. And so I used it quite often, actually. When she was 6 years old, I was taking my courses at the U of M, and I took a course with Mary Sheedy Kursinka, who wrote Kids, Parents, and Power Struggles. Absolutely changed my life. But she was talking about stress and stress responses, and how some kids actually have the stress response of shut down. So, and some adults too, me. So if I get really stressed out, I just freeze. I can't really operate. My brain doesn't operate. I can't think of what to do. I just shut down. And this was my daughter. So my threats of a timeout and my jumping in when she was making mistakes or had misbehavior and saying, "Do you want a timeout?" wasn't helpful, because I made it into a punishment. So here she was thinking, oh, when I need a break or when I'm making a mistake, I'm going to be forced to go have a pause, and my mom's going to make me, and it's a bad thing. But she needed it. She needed a timeout. She needed a break. So how could I turn that around? I started on the journey trying to figure it out. And over my years working in early childhood family education, I did see giving a break used wisely. And so I'll talk about some of the tenets of it today. So timeout is a power tool. It's great because it helps the child and adult gain control. It improves problem-solving ability. So it has the child kind of go into their brain and start to think about what they need in order to be successful, and problem solve different scenarios of when they might need one and when they might not need one. And so it becomes an effective tool for the child to use. It does not punish, shame, or belittle the child. It actually then supports optimal development and helps adult avoid those unnecessary power struggles. And then it also, my favorite, builds self-regulation skills. Self-regulation. So the child very quickly, when it's used effectively, starts to be able to understand cause and effect, and when they need a break, how to take one, and identify for themselves what they're needing. So you don't have to institute it. They might even end up choosing it. So it becomes one of those discipline tools I love, because it gets them to do what you want them to do, stop doing what you need them to stop doing, but yet their sense of self remains intact, and you feel good about your response. Those are the ones we really love, right? So how do we make it effective? That's the question, right? Well, why do people use timeouts? One major reason is because they think it's going to get the child thinking what they want them to think. Well, they're sitting in a timeout because they need to think about what they would do differently next time. They're sitting in a timeout because they need to think about their behavior. Do you really think that child is thinking what you want them to? No. Imagine you're really upset with your partner and your partner says, you know what? You're losing it. You need a timeout. You go take a break. How would you feel? Wouldn't it make you mad? I would be furious. I would not take that. But yet we do it with kids, right? So we can't control what a child's thinking. They're not going to be sitting there in their timeout thinking, oh, yes, I really shouldn't hit my friend next time. No, what are they thinking? They're going to be mad at you. They're going to be angry. They might even be thinking about how to do it next time without getting caught. That creates that fight, flight battle with them that we don't want. So how can it be used effectively? Well, one thing to do is first you set it up. So the idea is you're setting up that when you're feeling like you can't be with your friends, when you're feeling like you're so mad you want to say something mean or you want to kick somebody or hurt somebody, you need a break. We all have moments where we get madder and madder and madder and madder and we feel like a monster inside. We all need to take breaks so we can calm that part inside of ourselves and make better choices. So you're going to set up successful breaks ahead of time. It's not going to be, this is a battle and I'm going to win it by forcing you to sit in a timeout. That's useless and it creates power struggles. So this is one great tool that I totally love, and it's called Tucker the Turtle. So it's a book that you can get online. It's free. I'm going to send you the link to it. I just printed this out and had it bound at the printer. And now they have a home version, one in Spanish, and they've updated it to have these great graphics. So I just love it. So here's the book. You're going to read it to the kids. You're going to be setting up this idea that we all take breaks when we need it. So here's the book. Tucker Turtle takes time to tuck and think. Tucker Turtle is a terrific turtle. He likes to play with his friends at Sunny Stream School. Hi, I'm Tucker. Look at his friends. Oh, don't they look happy? They're such good friends. Pretend I'm reading it to a child in your care. Sometimes things happen that make Tucker really mad. Oh, look at Tucker. That makes me mad. Look at his face. Oh, he does not look happy today. You can't play with us. Oh, I would be mad if they did that too. They won't let him play. Oh, he's mad. It used to be that when Tucker got mad, he would hit, kick, or yell at his friends. His friends would get sad or scared. Oh. Tucker now knows he has a new way to stay calm when he gets mad. I wonder what that is. He can stop yelling. He can keep his hands and his body to himself. Oh, stop. Okay. He can tuck inside his shell and take 3 deep breaths. Let's do it together. You ready? Oh, I'm starting to feel a little better. Let's do our second breath. Yeah, I can feel myself calming. One more. Let's do it. Yeah, I think I needed that. I wonder how Tucker's feeling now. Shall we see? Tucker can now think of solutions to solve the problem. Oh, good. Look, his mind is back to his thinking self. He's not that mad self anymore. He's thinking. He can think of solutions. When Tucker stops and thinks, his body is calm and feels better. When he uses gentle touches and kind words with his friends, they feel happy and safe. I bet then they want to play with him too. Oh, he gets to be safe at school. The end, he says. Goodbye. So I actually they have this on Amazon. I bought a turtle. And so you can actually take the turtle and put the turtle in the calm down area to remind them. You can also, your circle time, have the turtle get really, really upset, and then they can give him ideas of how to calm down, and he can take his deep breaths. You can also create a calm down area where you have a green blanket there that they can go hold onto that blanket and tuck under it to help them feel better. So the idea is you're going to set up a successful break by creating a calm down area, reading books like this, and talking about calming down. And then you're going to set up when breaks would be necessary. So let them know, when you're fighting with a friend, and you can even, for 3, 4 and older, You can have them problem solve and think about when would they need a break? When would a break work for them? Do you see how I'm taking the ownership of it from me? I'm going to do it to you. To you, you get to have one when you need one. So then what happens is you're going to model taking a break when you need one. So when you start to feel tense and you start to feel upset, recognize and say, oof, I'm feeling mad inside. I'm feeling really angry. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to go calm down. I did this in my preschool class and I took a deep breath. And my little friend who talks to me nonstop sat down beside me and he went, I was like, yeah, we had it. We had a calm down time together. It was wonderful. So you're modeling taking the break. Provide an explanation and suggest they take a break. So let's say you see the child starting to get upset and you can go, oh, you seem really tense right now. You're gritting your teeth. Your face is turning red. Maybe you want to take a break in the calm down area. So do you see what I'm doing? I'm making a suggestion. You can also, especially if you're suggesting it, say, would you like to take a break for 1 minute or 2 minutes? Would you like to take a break for 3 minutes or 4 minutes? They recommend about 1 minute per age, but you can ask them what they think they need. And you can let them know when they feel calm again, they can leave the break. When the time is over, just allow them to return to their activity. And then look for the closest time that you can praise them again, that you can start to focus on what they do well and really get excited about the fact that they were upset and they knew what to do. They took a minute and they calmed themselves. That's going to help the child feel successful because we all have moments that we feel stressed out, but we all need breaks sometimes. And it's not a mean thing. It's not a bad thing. So I actually started doing this with my daughter and she started taking breaks because she needed one rather than because I was making her have one. Much better way to do it. It worked a lot better. So when do you give them a break? We're almost done. Are you ready? When? Well, when you see them getting steamy mad. But when they're falling apart, when they're having that huge tantrum, they're going to be less open to your feedback. So I would say as you see the intensity rising, catch it early and suggest a break. Maybe even just say, oh, I'm feeling upset. I'm going to go take a break. Or, oh my, look at Tucker. He's getting upset. I think he needs a break. And that might cue them. Oh, maybe I'm feeling upset and I need a break. So you don't even have to do it directly. Sometimes you can do it indirectly. So this child, they're jumping on your couch. They're trying to climb on the table. They need a break to calm down. Oh, you know the rule. You know the rule. You're having trouble following the rule. It looks like you're choosing to take a break. See what I did? I gave them a logical consequence. That's what we talked about last week. And these two are fighting. Oh, you guys are having a lot of trouble getting along. Do you want to take a break and let your body calm down so you can try again? See, it's just helping them learn. And like we talked about last week, you can give the toy a break. Oh, that toy's having trouble with you guys. You guys are fighting over that toy. That toy needs a break now. So they can start to understand it's not just them. It's you, it's other adults, it's themselves, and it's even their toys might need a break. So I'm going to read you this one story and then we are going to finish up. So in the Effective Discipline series, we try a strategy and then report back and see how it worked or didn't work. So I love this story from somebody in a group setting. We have a very hyperactive 5-year-old. He gets carried away easily and runs and jumps and climbs on the furniture, collides with other children. When I see him spiraling out of control, I call him over for a calm down. I don't tell him to stop running. I ask him to come over to the chair and relax. I never refer to it as a timeout. So he comes willingly and makes an extra effort to control himself. His calm down chair is located next to the tables where the other children are playing with puzzles. As he sits there watching them, I can visually see him decompress. After a short period, he announces he's calm. And the majority of the time, he wants to remain where he is and put a puzzle together. Win-win. So this is a great example of how a timeout can be more of a time in. It can be a positive experience rather than a punishment. And good news about that. I love this quote. Spending time alone in your own company reinforces your self-worth and is often the #1 way to replenish your resilience reserves. We don't have to look at time out as a punishment. We can look at it as something positive that helps us and the children we're caring for regroup. We all need time to regroup, don't we, sometimes? So it's really important to avoid these difficulties. You can see them here, giving a break just out of nowhere as a punishment, applying it for a long time or after it's occurred, scolding the child when they're going into it. It's not helpful. And then in early childcare settings, the trick is isolating a child in licensed childcare in Minnesota is prohibited. So you actually can't do it anyway. You can't use punishment of any kind. So if you do that, I'm going to punish you. It's not okay. It's not okay by DHS licensing. And then containing, restricting, isolating, or secluding or removing them from normal activities is not allowed. So good news is, you, early childhood peeps, you have the skills. So you know how to give positive time-ins and time-outs in ways that include the child so they don't feel isolated. They don't feel angry and mad at you and want to fight you more. You know this. You got this. So we're going to stay around for a little bit if you want to and think about when and how you give breaks that work in your childcare environment. So think about it for a moment. What works for you? And then I think when a child's losing it, when they're falling apart, when you're falling apart or you can feel they're stressed, that anxiety or that energy is way too high, then you can actually say, oh, I'm losing it too. I can feel it. This isn't working. And then all of you take a break. It's another great way to just say, oh, I can feel the tension in the air. Let's dance. Or I can feel the tension in the air. Let's take a breathe break. And you can all do it together. So that's not isolating the child at all. That's saying, you know what? Let's take a group break so we all can find calm again. I love that strategy. I actually learned that from somebody who's in childcare who does this. They'll say, oh, it feels like we have some energy that's getting like a little tense. Let's take a break so we can all calm. And she has a little sand timer that she puts on and they start taking deep breaths and they all do it together. Just love this idea. So remember, as you're going about your life with effective discipline, keep trying strategies and see what is the result. With timeouts, we have noticed that the result absolutely is if it's punishment, they're going to fight you more. They're going to have more negative behaviors and less learning. If you can offer it as a learning experience, it's a time to calm down, the results are going to be they have more of a positive experience and they learn how to self-regulate. So thank you for taking the time today to think about how can timeouts be used in a way that's effective, not just to get them to do what you want them to do or stop doing what you need them to stop doing, but to build the skills they need for life. For life. I learned this in my mid-30s, how to take a break when I needed to calm down. I used to lose it so often, and now I don't because I've learned to recognize when I'm getting upset and know what to do to calm. Imagine if you could learn it at 3 or 4 or 6 or 8. You're truly giving them a gift when you take the time to teach and reinforce that sometimes we all need a break. It's okay, you can take one. Thank you so much for joining me today. It means the world to me. I'll keep coming if you keep coming. Have a wonderful break, everybody. I want to just say next week I will not be here. I'm going to take a week off, but I am creating a super blog. It has the last 3 strategies. Find the yes within the no, which also includes giving choices, logical consequences, and timeout. 3 power strategies that when used are very impactful and manage to get kids to do what you want them to do and stop doing what you need them to stop doing. So I'll have all 3 of those with links to examples, other resources and articles that help back up the information. So if you haven't yet, get on my website, thriving-together.com, get on my blog and follow it because that's going to be coming out very soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of your week and keep on being awesome, loving up those kiddos, knowing what you do makes all the difference. Take care, you guys. Over and out.